Alright, what is up, guys? So, I know last time I did a build guide, kind of specifically for, or I guess for a specific build, on Fighter, and this time what I want to do is, it's not going to be, like, I am going to, like, build kits and show you guys, or not just, like, have a kit, I'm going to build kits and show you guys, but more importantly, what I want to do is I want to talk about, like, the levels of fighter gear, and, because a lot of people, like, they come in my chat, like, hey, like, what stats do you prio on fighter, right? And basically what I want to do is I want to answer that question so I don't have to every time somebody asks me in my chat. And I can link in this video. Anyways, what I'm going to do basically is I'm going to go over, I guess, like, varying degrees of kits of, like, this is, like, what you build starting out, this is, like, your next up, and this is, like, what you would consider really good. Like, I'm not going to go from, like, 0 to 24 to, like, full unique bis, but I am, however, going to cover what I would consider most things. 224s, so I will say this, because, you have the 224 gear score right here. I'll talk about this, and I'll do that here in a moment, but I'm not going to build a kit for it, because the thing is, like, when it comes to building a 224 kit, like, if you are, like, min-maxing this, which is what I would do, it honestly is more expensive than most, like, decent kits in 225 plus, because blue gear has been very inflated in price. But, and the thing about this, when it comes to building 224 kits, it's a bit different because you want to build very specific pieces. It's not just like, oh, like, 225 plus, it's like, oh, I get, like, 1, 2, 3 statted purples. 224 is like, okay, I want this, this, and this to be purple, and I need this, this, and this to be blue, and, stuff like that. So it's a bit different, right? And I just, honestly, I'm lazy and I don't feel like talking about it. But anyways, so to start off with, like I said, the most commonly asked question, what stat should you prioritize on fighter? You have all of these here, down here, and you have the base stats here. Well, the thing that most people make the mistake of, that I think, is they look at these stats up here, and are like, okay, which of these stats should I build, right? That is not, like, it's not an entirely wrong train of thought. However, you shouldn't look at these stats as, like, the end-all, be-all. You need to look at them for what they are. So you look at strength, don't say, okay, I need to build 30 strength, right? You're like, okay, the strength is phys power, right? Like, strength is it's my physical power down here. So if somebody tells you to build strength, they are also telling you to build phys power. There are a few exceptions to this, like if you are playing a rogue or something and you are negative strength, negative, you are less than 15 strength and you are at negative phys power, then yes, building raw strength ends up being better because the amount of phys power it gives you does raise you up to 0% faster. I think you could build flat phys power for that as well, but basically, if you're below 0%, you don't want percent phys power. You want flat, and getting up to 15 strength is generally just a good rule of thumb for that. But moving on, Vigor. Vigor is just HP. If somebody's like, hey, if you're like, oh, hey, build Vig, that just means build HP. Whether it's percent, flat, actually building base Vig, whatever else, is what it is. And one thing about these stats is generally where you're building base stats, it's going to come from your armor. Like, it's going to come from, like, like, if you want, like, Sleek Hides has 7 will, or, not 7, but, like, Dashing Boots has Agi, these have will. So whenever you're getting these base stats, they're usually coming from the, or getting, like, your base attributes are usually coming from the base stats on your armor or your jewelry. You're not normally going for rolls of these. Yes, there are exceptions to that, and I'll show you later. But generally speaking, you don't want to go for these base stats unless you were going to, like, double up. Like, I want action speed and I want dexterity, or I want max HP and I want Vig. I want Phys power and I want strength, something like that. There's usually just better rolls to go for. But anyways, agility, it's just movement speed. You see agility, you see movement speed, and a little bit of action speed, but mostly movement speed. Dexterity is your action speed. Will is your magical power. Buff duration, debuff duration. Knowledge is your spellcasting speed, and I guess spell recovery bonus, but that's usually not really relevant. And resourcefulness is terrible, so don't worry about that. So, whenever I talk about building fighter, the most important stats you have to focus on are strength, Vig, and dexterity. Agility is okay, but the thing is, with how movement speed works in the game, it's not really worth to build agility anymore, because you can just build flat movement speed or percent movement speed instead, and it overall ends up being better. Yes, there are times when you can go, like, movement speed and agility if you really want a lot, but for the most part, strength, Vig, and dexterity. What that means is phys damage, max HP, and action speed. And if you don't know what action speed is literally just, it's not just attack speed, it is the speed of everything, the speed of every animation you do in this game. So, drinking a health potion, using a bandage, holding up your shield, swinging a sword, all of those are affected by action speed, and that is where dexterity is. So, to start off with, whenever you are building a kit, well, for starters, you probably don't have a lot of gold, right? Like, let's say you're just getting to HR for the first time, and you're like, alright, I don't have much gold, what am I gonna do, right? So you just go in here, you just search for whatever you want. So now I'm going to be going like, you know, a pretty specific build guide, like the very general cookie cutter fighter build. I think like Crusader Helm, and you're going to go for something like health and maybe PDR, right? Let's go like a PDR. You go for this, you look, you can see the price range of it. You're like, okay, you know, maybe I want to build something cheaper, right? Like maybe you're trying to go for under 1,000 gold or something like that, right? Well, you could always just take max HP off or like PDR off, and then you could literally just search by epic. And this is like this right here is going to be like your most mid kit that you can build. You are looking for literally the most cheap piece of garbage that you can, and hopefully something has one stat, right? Like if you look through here, like boom, zero point 0.7 move speed, right? Or sorry, wrong one. Wrong one there. 0.7 move speed, right? Great, cool. Built it, throw it on there. Next, we're gonna go for like a dark plate, or dark curious. It really doesn't matter. You just look for it, you search it up. Do any of these have good stats? If you want, you can try to like actually search for stats. If there's anything to like look, you can see max HP, like 75 gold, not very expensive. You could also look for max health bonus, and just see if there's any that have very very high rolls. Maybe another good stat on here. You never know. Like 2 move speed here, that would be fine. See if there's anything else just for fun. You know, let's search. Let's search. Move speed bonus. All right, you see this gets a little bit pricier here. However, you could go for something like this right here. Like this right here, 500 gold if you have it. 10 armor rating, move speed, max health bonus, 3 statted. But like I said, we're not doing that. We're looking for real cheap stuff, and generally flat added move speed will be cheaper. So we're probably just gonna go with something like, let's see, what do we want here? Like this is fine, but it's only 1 move speed. We're just gonna go with this one up here, right? 2 move speed, 2% max health. Can't really complain. Slap that on. Boom. Next, plate pants, because I think plate pants are fantastic and I love them. Search up. Oh, 250 gold. Way out of our price range. Let's back this up. Let's just look for max health on it. Wow, that's really expensive too. So you know what we're going to do? Just go for max HP. A lot of kit building is just searching and searching and searching and being like, what is it that I want, right? And generally, it looks like epic plate pants are just kind of expensive. So if you really wanted to, you could swap these out and you could go for like heavy leathers. I actually don't know if heavy leathers are cheaper. Yeah, they are. You could go for like heavy leathers instead and just give up that strength. And you see you have like 3 move speed here if you want them. And like I said, we're just going to, once again, just search for the stats you want. And, you know, 1.4% move speed there. Can't even complain. 1.5%. And we looked at the flat added, and the flat added was, what, 3, 1, 3. These are all pretty terrible. But, you know, let's go back to the percent. There was a cheap one for the percent, right? Yeah. Like 1.5% for, you know, 190 gold. Also gives you a little bit of magic res. It's like, honestly, who even cares? Take that. Nice. Then you could either go for reinforced gloves here, or you can go for heavy gauntlets. I think because we're not going to have any dexterity, I would probably go for the heavy gauntlets over the reinforced. And just see, I mean, these are like, see, these are a little bit more expensive, and usually the price comes in for the fact that it's like how much are on the market. If there's like a million of them on the market, they end up being cheaper. Like reinforced gloves are probably cheaper, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, they are a little bit cheaper. Like reinforced gloves end up being a little bit cheaper, and you know, we have like fizz power here, buff duration. We're just gonna take these because why not? You know, got those. Cool, great. Then lastly, just go for like some rugged boots. And boots are usually a little bit more expensive, but you know, fizz power, can't even complain. And already, I mean, our stats honestly aren't even looking like the worst thing ever. Like, yeah, do we have 0% action speed? Absolutely. Do we have 5% fizz power? Yeah, 100%. How much gold have we spent on this kit? Less than 1,000. And you know, it's already looking fine. It's looking fine. 147 health, yes sir. All right, and then we're gonna go for vitality rings because we don't care about fizz power. We just care about HP. Look for epic ones, and you just like kind of search down, like see what you want. You could search up specific stats if you want, like I've been doing. However, for the most part, you're probably not gonna find anything that's that worthwhile. But we're just gonna look for action speed because we don't really have any action speed. And then like 150, we'll take that one, and then we'll probably just take this one right here as well. I think these both have MDR on them, don't they? That's nice. That's real nice. 155 health, MDR is 20%, 47% PDR, and then lastly, necklace. Your necklace is always going to be a necklace of peace. It doesn't matter what you do, you're always going for a necklace of peace. That is just kind of how it works. And then 3 agi right there, boom, can't even complain. 150 gold, or 120 gold, and then look for a vigilant cloak. You could also go mercurial here if you just really, really want some dex, because I do think our dex is pretty low, and having dexterity isn't bad. But 2 fizz power mercurial right there. And boom, 164 health, 296 HP, 6% action speed, 49% PDR, 20% MR, and 7% fizz power. Is the kit good? No, it's completely and utterly terrible. Like, the kit is absolutely horrendous. However, you know, Did it cost you a lot of gold? No, not really. I think it costs like what, like somewhere like around 1.5k maybe for this, and you could take this in. And like I said, is this kit going to be killing people in full uniques? Well, I mean, maybe if you outplay them. But this kit is good enough, and your move speed isn't even that low, that you could kill a lot of people in this kit. And the thing is, even if you lose it, no biggie, right? Like, you didn't really lose anything. So, moving on from this one. And we're just going to vendor all this because I'm never going to use it. So, next one. We are now starting to look for, we are being a little bit pickier with our gear. You're going to look for, like, 2-statted items. So, like, we're going to look for, like, max health armor, right? Probably not going for this. I don't know why I said armor. I meant PDR. We're not going for this because armor rating sucks for fighter. But you look for, like, max health PDR. You're spending a little bit more on your gear. You're not getting quite down to, like, buying, like, the really, like, 3-rolled purples or anything yet. But you are buying, like, a bit better gear. Also, by the way, this is what I wanted to mention. You guys see how this blue one with max health PDR is more expensive than 4 purples, and there's only 1 blue one to begin with? Yeah, this is 224s. This is what I was talking about. Like, really good blue items end up being more expensive than most purples just because, like, it's just, people really, really want to min-max. And here, like I said, we're going to look for, like, dexterity, because I mentioned that earlier. That is a thing you can do. And most of these aren't that great. Probably just take this one. 1 dex, 2 max health, and MDR. Can't really complain about that. Stats are looking fine. Then we're going forward. We're going to go Dark Plate again. You could go Dark Cuirass as well. It really just comes like, it depends on what you're feeling. It's like, do I want a Dark Plate? Do I want a Dark Cuirass? Up to you. If you look for add move speed, you see they're really expensive. I mean, this is only 999 gold, and it's really not bad for the price that it is. However, we're not quite there yet. So we're going to look for, like, add move speed and max health and see if we can find something really, really good. Ideally, we get a decent amount of base HP and a decent amount of move speed. Like, you see, like, all of these are looking fine, but the move speed's a bit low, and that's one of the things you don't really want to give up. Like, this one is good. 300 gold for this one. Like, it is only 1 move speed, but it does have 2.4% action speed, which is something that we're looking for. And you can go to the next page, keep looking if you want. Like, this one, 3%, but it has low max HP roll. This one's fine. This one's fine. I would probably end up going with that one right there, I guess, because armor rating isn't the greatest stat. It certainly isn't a bad one, right? It certainly is not a bad one. And then, once again, we're going to go back to plate pants because I think plate pants are great, and I love them. And then we're going to look for percent move speed this time. Hopefully it's around, and we can buy them without spending an arm and a leg. These right here, MDR, max health, move speed, like, that is honestly perfectly fine to take. Because for the most part, these down here aren't much better, and, like, this is, what, 3 max HP for... It's 3 max HP, the same move speed, but you lose another defensive stat. This gives you 2.8 MDR. So we're just going to take these, slap those bad boys on, and then reinforce gloves. And I will say we are not quite to the point of getting true damage yet. Because the thing is, like, whenever you want to start getting true damage with these items, you see they get significantly more expensive. And yes, you could do this, however, but you have to give up your other stats for it. And even then, they're still, the first purples are like 399 gold. And while you could just go for, like, these here, we get like 3 max HP, 1 true blues for not that expensive. It's usually not that good. I mean, you give up a tiny bit of armor, you're giving up more base stats, and you're giving up potential for higher rolls. So that's the thing. It's like I said, if you really, really want to, and you want to get that true damage here, what you can do is, like I said, you can just go for like the cheapest ones you want on the market. So like these are 298 gold, boom, put them on. Because getting true damage is like the next big step up. It's like, you have, like, your first kit is, like, pretty much dead rolls, like, maybe 1 or 2 good ones there. You just have, like, basically base stats that get your stats up. Then you have, 2 to 3 on rolls, and you're starting to get true damage, because true damage is where, like, the big jump is in the price of your kit. Same with, like, movement speed or plus all. Both of those come with a very, very big jump. And, like, I mean, you see here, like, right, if I want to put on rugged boots, which I'm not going to because I'm just going to look for buckleds. And I'm going to go for Vig instead because they have max HP as a base. And even these are, like, getting, a little bit more expensive. But, yeah, and, like, you go for something like these. 420 gold, these are really, really good. Almost max rolls and everything. But, yeah, getting that true damage ends up being, like, where, that's where, like, the expensive parts of the kit start to come from. And I'm going to put this full kit together, and you're going to see the difference in stats between this one and the other one, if you go back and look at it, because I don't have it, because I'm an idiot and I deleted it because I was going to show this, but I forgot, is very minimal. Right? It is a matter of usually less than 10 to 15 stats across the board. We're going to go for Vitality Rings again, though, but this time we're probably going to try to get, like, maybe some, like, health and action speed on ours. If you look, health and action speeds are really, really expensive, so instead of health, maybe we go for True Fizz. and action speed. Once again, yeah, you see like this is where the price increase starts to happen. And yeah, the thing is, it's like these are good. Like, you know, this is 3 statted with PDR, so I'm going to buy this. Or this one right here, once again, 3 statted, PDR or max HP, and action speed with True Fizz. And these are, excuse me, quite good. However, the actual like difference in the strength of the kit overall is not going to be that high. Same thing, we're going to go for a Peace Necklace. You know, we're just going to search for like action speed and maybe move speed here. And see what we can find. And you look, I mean, you see like percent move speed is just so much more expensive. If you search for ad, you can find them without being, you know, that crazy. Well, this one isn't that good. It's not like super expensive, so probably just buy this one because it's 3 statted. No true on it, which is like whatever. It's not like losing out on 1 true isn't the end of the world. It does suck, but you know, it's not going to kill you. And then go for it last one, like go for Mercurial. Go for like True Fizz and just see what they have. Maybe we have some like a max HP one or something like that, but oh. What's this one? True Fizz, like whatever here. And I'm just gonna start checking some lazy. And like you see all the blues are like getting kind of expensive, but then you get up here and it's just like you just kind of look for any one of them that has like, you know, like an extra stat. Like this one, great. 3 max health, fantastic. Like the other stats basically dead, but who cares? Because we got 3 max HP on it. And then boom. This is what I would consider like, you know, around the next tier of kit. You have slightly more action speed, a little bit more HP, but you do have 4 true on all your armor and stuff. And you could get 1 more on here if you wanted to spend a little bit of extra gold. And overall, yeah, like this is like kind of like the next tier of kit. It's like, all right, I have, you know, I have good purples on and stuff like that, right? Like I have good purples, I have true damage. My action speed is getting a bit higher here. You obviously would want to build a bit more, and you could like, you know, just instead of using these gloves, honestly, looking at the rest of the kit and how much I spend on like the rings and stuff, I probably would swap these out now. Probably go for like heavy gauntlets with like True Fizz max HP. Oh, yeah, let's get max health bonus, usually cheaper. And then we could go for something like this right here, like 411. Oh, not this one. We could go for something like this right here. 400 gold for 2 agi, almost 2% max health, and True Fizz. And then we have more action speed, more PDR. HP is basically the same, but yeah, like this is, I said, this is what I consider. It's like the next tier of kit up, and I will honestly, I'm probably gonna run this. Quite frankly, I will probably throw this in my stash, and I will use this at some point. Let me just move all this over here for now. Cool. And then last, what we have is you have the really, really good kits. And I'm not building one of those right now because it's really expensive, but I will go to my other fighter and I can show you some of the examples of them. This is when you are starting to build into like legendaries and uniques, and your kit is getting really, really good. Funny enough, most of these items I have on right now, I actually forgot to gem these. Most of these items actually weren't that expensive. Like, yeah, like something like this right here, and these right here are, but like, this is when you're starting getting to the territory of really, really good gear. You see basically all of my stats have a giant increase. And yeah, this is definitely like, you know, the higher end of it, so maybe I could swap it out. Do I have another one in here somewhere? Let's see. Oh, I guess my arena kit's, actually, no, I can use my arena kit. My arena kit's a really good example because there's no uniques on it. So, this is when you're starting to get into the like next tier of gear, and this is like the really, really good stuff. This is when you're getting into your 4 on-road legendaries, very min-maxed kit. And you can see, like I said, basically every single piece of gear I have is, it's not max rolled, but they're all like perfect rolls, and they're all like, you know, decently high, and they're very, very good. Obviously this kit isn't absolutely perfect because at the end of the day, this is an arena kit. You can see most of it's found by me. Not every single piece, but most of it is. So it could still be a little bit better, but this is when, like I said, this is when you're getting into the, yeah, okay, I'm starting to spend a lot of gold. I'm starting to spend, you know, 10 to 20k gold on kits rather than just like maybe 5k, because that's, you know, that's really like where it's at. You're like, it's my intro kit, I'm spending like maybe 1,000 or 2,000 gold. I can make this kit back. If I lose it, I can make the gold back for this kit in 1 to 2 runs, right? Then it's like, all right, my next kit, I'm starting to build it, you know, I'm getting the feel for it, I'm starting to build a little bit better. Like, this kit is going to make its worth back. And then when you get into kits like this, it's like, all right, I have more gold than I need. I'm going to start building really good kits, and I'm just going to have fun in the game, and I'm going to have a really, really good time. And, yeah, for the most part, that is kind of like, I mean, I'll go over one more time so you guys can see the rolls that are on this kit. But for the most part, that is where, like, kit building ends up. And like I said, I can show off the unique one more time, I guess, for you guys to see. Because this, I guess, would be the next, like, tier up after that one. This is when your kit is starting to get really... Also, okay, 1 second. These heavy leathers, these tangle threads are not supposed to be here. So funny thing happened last night. I was playing with Gavin. We were doing Ghost King, and I tried to swap my pants on, and it deleted them. My pants got deleted. So, yeah. All right, now, okay, oops, there, I don't have to bench. Now, this is where I was talking about. This is where the kit's starting to look like. And yes, this is obviously my HP is a bit lower here, and I could probably go for like heavy leathers with MDR. And honestly, I kind of want to do that right now. We're looking nicely. We're cooking with. Hold on, heavy leathers, unique, magic resistance, 65 MR. What about MDR? I'll probably buy those. Yeah. Actually, wait. Wait. Did I missearch that? Is there actually 0 with magic damage reduction? Wow, interesting. All right, magic res. Okay, let me get these. Cool, cool beans. All right. Now you see. Now this is where you are starting to get into like the kit range of like, okay, this kit is absolutely insane, right? Like, yes, my action speed is pretty low. It's only 5%, but I'm 186 health. I'm 300 move speed, which could be higher. To be fair, could be higher. But I am at 57.7% PDR, 43% MR, 14% Fizz power. And even this kit could still be improved quite drastically. A lot of the pieces of gear are low rolled. Like this has 2 dead stats. I can gem this a little bit. This has add fizz, and you know, that's it. But yeah, that is gonna be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this helped. Yeah, not much to say. Catch you guys later. Peace.